Good evening, and from the News Hub here in Accra, this is News 360 from Adisanwe. I am Isa Moni.
And I am AC Benewa Otu. Coming up in the next 1 hour.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
9 suspected illegal miners, including a female, arrested for allegedly mining in Gemira Forest Reserve in Ashanti region, despite ban on small-scale mining.
Portions of Accra Tema motorway turned into dump site by residents.
In other top stories, calm returns to Kumasi Academy after report of death of 2 students.
Also in the news, a 3-acre land belonging to the Doku Krowo Municipal Assembly Hospital meant for extension works, now a defecating ground for community.
And on mission tonight, some pupils of the Busia District Assembly Primary School in Upper West Region are staying away from school due to inadequate furniture.
And in entertainment tonight, Shatawale and Samina feud deepens as Shatawale hijacks a stage for about 2 hours, preventing Samini from performing. Right, we have details including sports coming up this hour. Stay with us as we begin the first story right now. The Accra Tema motorway has become the new destination for dumping waste. Waste collectors from Accra indiscriminately drop rubbish along the motorway instead of going to Bong because of the distance and the fee involved. Now, this has led to the springing up of mini dump sites along the route. Catherine Fimpoma has more.
The 19-kilometer highway links Accra to Ghana's industrial hub. The busy road, experts say, receives not less than 30,000 cars in a day. But today, a lot more mini trucks carrying waste ply the stretch. A common scene is the emergence of dump sites all the way from the abattoir to Tema roundabout. Residents of slums along the motorway are responsible for waste generated and dumped at the sites, but others are dumped at isolated places that has no link with residents, but sources around say waste collectors are responsible for dumping here at night. This is one of the many illegal landfill sites springing up along the Accra Tema motorway that has become an alternative for waste collectors. Definitely an affront to proper waste management strategies in the country in an era where people are embracing new technologies in managing waste. Some
of our colleagues do it, especially in the night. The police has been chasing us, but they still manage to do it. He said most of his colleagues drop them here to evade the fees required to offload at the Pong landfill site. Pong is far. We buy a lot of fuel and we pay according to the weight. These notices have done little to scare them from dumping refuse here. Over the last 5 years, the country has seen the launch of 2 sanitation campaigns. The National Sanitation Day by the Mahama-led administration and the new campaign by the current government declaring every day a sanitation day with sanitation marshals to oversee compliance. They probably need to begin from the Accra Tema motorway to put an end to this mess. Catherine Frimpoma, TV3, Accra.
Well, some may blame the story you are about to watch on black magic. Others think it is fate. And the more scientifically inclined believe it is genetically acquired. Clearly, the plight of the Harvey family of Mafe Jogaje in the Volta region is beyond comprehension. All 5 children of Francisca Harvey are fiscally challenged.
When Veronica Harvey was born some 35 years ago, residents of Mafe Jogaje described her condition as unfortunate. They encouraged the mother, Francisca Harvey, to see it as one of the unusual ways of life and try another time. Francisca's second child, Mary Harvey, 33, the third, Senna Harvey, 31, were also born with serious forms of disabilities. It became the talk of town when the fourth, Hammond Harvey, 29, as well as the fifth, who passed on, were all born with varied disabilities. The eldest of the siblings, Veronica, could neither talk nor walk. The second, third, fourth, and the last born, who passed on, could neither speak, hear, nor walk too. Residents have ascribed the varying interpretations to the situation, leading to stigmatization. Some fear they would suffer a similar fate by getting close with the family. Others described Francisca and her late husband as evil, among other derogatory remarks. Now, as a single mother, Francisca begs to cater for the needs of her disabled children.
No one in our family has any form of disability. I can't explain how this happened. Everyone has now neglected us, and the death of my husband has made matters worse. How to feed these children is an everyday headache.
One of the children, Fidelia, who does not have any disability, is obviously depressed.
I need financial support to engage in trading activities in order to support the upkeep of my disabled siblings.
Gifty Diame Nukote, who married a member of the family, is equally stigmatized.
People say all kinds of things about me, but I ignore them. I believe it is not their choice or a fault from any of them. What is important is that I am not affected in any way.
A prophet of the end-time church, Maunyo Akpabli, called for divine intervention.
Within myself, I know it took me surprise that children are giving birth like this, and then they cannot even do anything to support their parents in this world. Rather, they will rather depend on their parents until one day.
For now, until that miracle comes, the Harvey family needs the support of society in order to meet their needs.
Now let's move into Galamsey. 9 suspected illegal miners, including a female, have been arrested for allegedly mining in the Gemra Forest Reserve in the Ashanti region. The Inkaria District Forest Office says it has intensified clamping down on the Galamsey operators who have devised new strategies to defy government's directive for all small-scale mining activities to halt.
The illegal miners are alleged to have besieged a section of the Gemra Forest Reserve. The Rapid Response Team of the Inkaria Forest Commission SWOOP arrested suspects including Daniel Ejay, Michael Jimfi, Kwame Kwachi, Abdullah Idrisu and Cynthia Ifwa. They are in the custody of the Inkaria Divisional Police Command. Other miners in the forest reserve managed to escape arrest. The miners have been adopting diverse tactics in spite of the government's temporary ban on all forms of small-scale mining activities. They use spade, pumping machines and shovels in mining for gold in the forest reserve at night. Inkaria District Forest Manager Nana Poku Bosompim said his outfit will continue to be tough on persons engaged in illegal activities.
If you look at the Minerals and Mining Act, it's so clear. It prescribes punitive measures to be given to anybody who engages in illegal mining. The law says that if a Ghanaian should engage in illegal mining without the proper documentation, he should be sent to court, prosecuted, and fined 3,000 penalty units, translate to 36,000 Ghana cedis, or in default, 5 years imprisonment. This is the law we are going to invoke.
Nana Bosompim enjoined the public to support the government's quest to combat illegal mining in the country.
The chief, the opinion leaders, the assembly members, the unit committee chairman within the community, they are fully aware that such an action is going on in the forest, but they will not divulge information for the necessary authorities to act. But anytime you go to arrest persons, you find them in their cloth coming in, pleading, these are people, we are begging, let's try to find a amicable settlement to it. We are accepting no plea.
And welcome to Mission Now. Let's move on to our very first mission story. And some pupils of the Busia District Assembly Primary School in the Upper West region are staying away from school due to inadequate furniture. Private individuals have supported the school with furniture, but this is not enough. District education authorities say inadequate furniture is a key challenge impeding improvement of education.
Off and ready to start lessons. What is in store for them is known. Pupils are not happy. Their comfort can't be assured. What is furniture is an eyesore.
Square. Is square correct? No. Square is a plane figure with all the sizes being equal.
The school has received some furniture, but this has not been helpful. Most have broken down. Built with metals, it can't be repaired by local carpenters. Teachers have made effort to get some furniture. This leaves the lower primary better off, but the upper primary is with nothing. The school's challenge is even more worrying when it comes to accommodation. Teachers stay far away from the community due to poor accommodation. The only building to house teachers is in a sorry state.
The time they used to walk from the town to this place, they waste a lot of time. Because it's a new district, one will send some of this information, they'll tell her there are no funds. So that's the response we've been hearing from them.
The community cannot provide accommodation.
If you struggle to get a decent room, they peg it at 500 a year. So expensive that the teachers cannot afford. So most of them commute. And in commuting, they lose part of the contact hours.
The district, however, wants the assembly to change the situation.
At the health sector, if they build a cheap compound, they add accommodation to the cheap compounds. We are also pleading with the assembly that when they are putting up classroom blocks, they should think of the accommodation of the teacher. That may go a long way to help us cut down the waste of the contact hours.
The district assembly is not happy with the state of education.
When students sit for exams and the pass rate is 30.1%, it is something that you should like. It is absolutely not acceptable. So when we came in, we went around to all our schools, the places that need infrastructure. I sat with the education director together with my coordinating director and this assembly in general. So all the places that need basic infrastructure, we've taken note and we have started constructing them.
The assembly, in partnership with stakeholders, are working hard to improve education.
The Pandai District Education Director, Sextus Adiko, is worried lack of educational support coupled with low teacher motivation are affecting academic performance across the district. Speaking in an exclusive interview with TV3, the educationist revealed even most of his colleagues, directors, have rejected postings to the district due to poor motivation.
Carved out of the Gunja district in 2008, the Pandai district has not seen any major infrastructural improvement. The situation according to the District Director of Education, Sixto Sadiko, has extended to the education sector.
In some of the schools, we do not even have classroom facilities. Some schools, take a school like Dontiobo School Complex. It is the PTA and it is a church group. They actually initially put up some structures. But these structures, they are not enough. And you go and find the school has very thick enrollment, high enrollment in the school. Yet the classrooms, some even have to sit in chairs, some sit on the trees to really learn. And this is not good enough. And even though the teachers are doing well in that particular school because they come to school regularly and the teaching and learning is taking place, but I think that with the provision of this infrastructure, it will actually go a long way to promote teaching and learning in such schools.
He lamented teachers refuse postings to the district, whilst the ones at post request for transfers due to lack of motivation.
When teachers are posted to this district, instead of us implementing this policy of saying that some of the teachers who come, you do a certain number of years before you qualify to go on study leave with pay. Our district, instead of doing 3-4 years, even when someone from Kwandai does 2 years, he should be considered as eligible to go for further studies if he wants to go on study leave with pay, because this will serve as an incentive. Now, like the teacher who will wait in water for 4 years up to the waist level. This year, when the teacher came to me, said, Director, I have, in fact, I don't know whether you hate me, why you have made me to be suffering. And I said, yes, I see with you. If once you are prepared, you have served in that particular community, I will transfer you to another place and we'll get some other teachers to also go there.
He revealed even some education directors refuse postings to the district directorate due to poor infrastructure.
Since the district was started in 2008, no district director, no substantive district director has ever stayed in this district for more than 1 year. The first district director that was appointed, he stayed for 1 year and left. And this is because they find the place as totally deprived and it lacks so many facilities, and the challenges are so many that when you come, you actually, it's like you are coming to suffer. So it makes many people, after 1 year, they run away. The first one left after 1 year. And after that, people from neighboring districts were overseeing the district until 2013 when I was posted to the district. Then I came. 2013, the following year, I also wanted to leave. I was even transferred. I managed to get my transfer, but after that, the one who was to take over from me refused to come. So they had to, the then regional director had to plead with me to stay, and after I stayed, nobody ever came this way again. And I'm here. I know very soon I'll go on retirement before they now bring someone, and I'm going on retirement very soon. Come 2018, I'll be going on retirement.
And that's it for Mission Ghana, with support from Star Ghana, Danida, European Union and UK Aid. Stay with us, we'll be back with more stories.
You're on News 360, and let's look at what is still to roll out from the news desk. CAM returns to Kumasi Academy after reports of death of 2 students. Also, a 3-acre land belonging to the Lejokuku Kro Municipal Assembly Hospital, meant for extension works, now a defecating grounds for the community. And we have details coming up. Stay with us. do some more stories tonight. Calm has been restored at the Kumasi Academy Senior High School after fear gripped some students about the death of 2 of their colleagues. School authorities are entreating parents and guardians not to be worried about the security of their wards because they are in safe hands.
2 students of the Kumasi Academy have died after a short illness. The 2 were reported to have died at the KNUST hospital after being sent there for medical attention. Headmaster of Kumaka, Sylvester Osewusu, said they are monitoring movements of the students to ensure their safety.
Day and night we are with them. Academic activities are also going on. All right. Yesterday we had our rehearsals. They were all present, and then their dining daily schedules have been undertaken, and we are monitoring their movements too.
In April this year, 4 students of the school died of meningitis, causing fear and panic among colleague students. School authorities say the cause will only be known after the autopsy report. Some students who spoke off camera believe the death of the 2 students had been blown out of proportion, thus leading to fear and panic among parents. They are also eagerly awaiting the autopsy report to know the exact cause of the death of their colleagues. President Akufo-Addo says government is investing in education and skills training to reduce youth migration. The president said the willingness of the youth to cross the Sahara and seek greener pasture is as a result of absence of industrial development. President Akufo-Addo was speaking at the 60th anniversary celebration of the Kumasi Academy Senior High School.
In several sectors of our national life, past students of Kumasi Academy continue to make their mark and play significant roles in the development of our country. Apart from what we all take from our parents and our homes, a lot of what goes into fashioning our outlook on life comes from the schools we attend.
He noted that the abundance of natural resources alone cannot develop the country, noting investing in education and the youth is the way to go.
The industrial development of our country and continent, an educated workforce will facilitate its achievement.
The president instructed the Ministry of Education to complete all uncompleted GET Fund projects at the various senior high schools. The headmaster of Kumasi Academy SHS, Sylvester Osewusu, thanked the president for his directives. He said the completion of the abandoned GET Fund project would boost infrastructure development in the school.
The president assuring us of the completion of the project is a very good thing for us because it can help us absorb more of the day students. They pose most challenges because the time they leave for home and the time they report are not helping us in the disciplinary measures we put. So if you're able to get the facility that he has promised us, we'll be able to help them come to the boarding house.
Some students were awarded for excelling academically and also playing crucial roles towards the development of the school.
And a 3-acre land belonging to the Legion Municipal Assembly Hospital, meant for extension works, is now a defecating grounds for both adults and children. Frederick Clarence Williams reports over 200 residents use the area daily as their place of convenience.
The 100-bed capacity Lekma Hospital serves Teshi Nungwa and its environs in the Lojokuku-Krowo municipality. Due to increasing numbers of patient attendants, the facility harbor plans of expanding to develop an existing 3-acre land. But activities of residents remain a challenge to the progress of work. Residents now openly defecate on the land. On a daily basis, more than 200 residents throng the area to defecate. Despite several interventions against the practice, it still persists. This undermines the Lejokuku-Krowo Municipal Assembly's efforts at achieving better sanitary conditions within the municipality. Ghana's attempts at achieving the Sustainable Development Goal on water and sanitation is currently facing a setback as a result of open defecation. The principal of the Teshi Nursing and Midwifery Training College in Accra, Elizabeth Entry, on the sidelines of the 11th matriculation ceremony of the school, expressed shock at the development.
We have observed that, but I believe that those corporates may not have toilet facilities in their houses. That's why they defecate outside the wall. But I will not justify that anyway. We do well to talk to them, but some do not take kindly into it, and they even issue threats. So we plead with the municipal assembly to help save the surroundings of the school.
She argued a revival of the town council concept of ensuring improved sanitation will deter deviants.
We'll be exposed to so many diseases, infections, cholera outbreaks, and even respiratory tract infections and infections in general. So we plead that toilet facilities, if possible, should be provided for residents around so that we'll be ease of this social vices.
The Meisha Palace in Kumasi was besieged by scores of traditional priests and priestesses on Friday. The display of spiritual antics by the priest forms part of events to mark the final funeral rites of the late Asantehima Nana Ifia Kobi Sewa Ampem II. A report by Benjamin Aidu. It was a display of diverse spiritual prowess as the traditional priest stormed the sacred place to perform rituals openly. The performances kickstart the 2-week funeral rites of the late Asantehima Nana Ifia Kobi Sewa Ampem II. The Queen Mother died in September 2016 and was buried at the Royal Mausoleum at Bremen in January 2017. Scores of traditional priests, known as Akomfo from various parts of the Asante Kingdom, took part in the exercise. They wore diverse attires and held onto materials depicting their magical prowess as they performed their antics to the admiration of people who visited the palace to commiserate with the Asante king.
We believe in tradition, we believe in Christ, and we also know there is God. We are here because of tradition, and we want it to continue.
The priests were mobbed by some of the crowd who wanted to experience the magical performances. The Asantehene Otumfo Setutu II later witnessed the event and sat in state to receive homage from the chiefs and priests.
Now there's still more going on. They will bring you and subsequent these bulletins. Now, Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo has asked the Ghana Investment Promotion Center to consider reviewing the criteria used in selecting companies into the Ghana Club 100 rankings as it favors only banks. He was speaking at the 2017 Ghana Club 100 Awards.
The 16th edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards was under the theme Industrialization, a tool for job creation and accelerated economic development. The CEO of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Yofi Grant, indicated the center has aligned its activities with the president's vision of moving the economy towards production and industrialization. He was of the view GIPC channeling investment into the private sector will support economic expansion, create employment along the manufacturing value chain. Speaking on behalf of the President, Senior Minister Yao Osafo-Maafo opined Ghana's initial attempt to industrialize did not succeed because of ownership.
Most of them within laundries were all owned by the state. And this became problematic. We want to come back to that same setup. But this time around, the ownership is different. We want it to be with the private sector.
He indicated the public sector has to position itself right in order to promote and provide a supportive environment for the private sector to thrive.
We're going to make sure that the services to be provided to the citizenry and business will be such that the private sector will succeed. Citizenry must be happy the private sector must be happy, and the government will be the beneficiary.
On the award, Goil was adjudged the third best company in the country, while MTN was adjudged the second best. Newmont Ghana is the first company among the Ghana Club 100.
Our employees, and not to forget our communities that are around us, that we are working closely with as well. Without them, we would not be able to be successful.
We always want to work hard to increase our sales, and we do that by expansion and making sure that we reach out to areas where we think our volumes will be quite high. And then also we look at our profitability. Even though we price our products competitively, we still want to make sure that we make up for the price competitiveness in volumes.
The GIPC boss reacted to Senior Minister Yao Osafumafo's suggestion that the organizers take a second look at the criteria to go beyond profitability, size and growth.
Maybe we should take the banking sector and the finance companies out of it and let them compete and rate themselves, and then the others in another pot. But at least I am very happy because when you look at the company that was number one, Newmont, they also won awards in corporate social responsibility, which means that they're just not making profits, but they're also plowing back into social development.
In other developments, former Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry Mutola Mohammed says President Akufo-Addo should have been definite in his answer to the gay question on the Al Jazeera interview. Speaking on New Day, he argued the president should have answered like other African leaders did on the gay issue.
Let me state that His Excellency the President simply could have done what other leaders did, not what President Mohammed did, not what Prof. Mills did. You had President Obama who went to his home country, that is his father country, and Uhuru Kenyatta told him that the issue of gay is a non-topic. We won't even discuss it. So what people expected from the president was to be definite. Don't tell me that because the president is a lawyer, of course he's a lawyer of outstanding repute if you like, but the point is that the laws in this country also recognizes the values and principles. But I'm saying the statement such as that, it gives impetus to those who would want to push it. Now, if you say that there hasn't been a serious coalition, if there's coalition, so it means you will. Because that is it may not be what he was intending, but that is the impression you give out there. And you know, go to social media. Some of them have started speaking out. Some in the United States and America saying that, look, they have started speaking out. That may not be the intention of His Excellency the President when he was making that statement. But I'm saying that the moment you make that statement, it can be misconstrued. And people would think that we are giving a tacit approval.
I believe taking what the President said, I mean, in context, one would not say that the President of the Republic of Ghana endorsed, if you like, homosexuality. Never. He never did. And he never also sought to say that let's legalize homosexuality. He never said so. Question is, why is it not legalized? Answer is, our customs values abhors it. If you listen to him, he actually placed or laid emphasis on our customs and values. Now, having laid emphasis on our customs and values, and if the argument goes like the way Mutola went with his submission, that look, on no account are we going to shelve those values and customs and move to another side, then it means that the matter that you want us to speak to, which points at maybe people saying that the president was like kind of positing that there could be a time where we are going to, as it were, accommodate this. Yeah. Then with the position of Mutola, that there's no day and there will not be that day, and that is my position too, it means that, look, that will never happen.
You're on News 360 and it's live from at the Sunway. Earlier on, we were telling you about a feud between Samini and Shatawale, which has deepened. We will be talking right away to an expert in entertainment. He is right here in the studio. You may not see him now, but he'll be joining us after this break. And stay with us. We'll bring him on. That's a surprise interview, actually.
to our very first entertainment story, and the 2017 S concert was fun and well patronized. Shatta Wale performed 58 songs in 2 hours. Owusu Arai, however, reports 3 headline acts, Samina, Ebony, left the venue after waiting forever for their turn to perform.
That's it.
At Accra Sports Stadium right about now, Shatta Wale has been on stage for almost 2 hours, and there are a lot of artists waiting to also mount the stage. Samina hasn't performed, Mr. Easy hasn't performed, Ebony hasn't performed, and it's 4 a.m. Samina is waiting to mount the stage, and basically there is some confusion of a sort here. Samina's people are trying to get on stage. They are trying to get on stage. So let's go and take some shots. No. There's no confusion here. Just take your time.
Amen. They say Samina they can't perform, so I go as well.
First and foremost, it's like it's been on the stage for long. You understand? It's not the one supposed to perform. Samina has to come before him, and it's been there for long. And what's the meaning of that?
Shatta have been on stage for hours. You are there are artists like Mr. Easy, Samina, Ebony, Fancy Gandam, who should also perform. And it's now 4 o'clock. So what time are we waiting for him to leave stage? Samina just left the venue. Ebony has also left the venue. It doesn't appear Shatta Wale will be exiting stage any moment from now.
Before the stage, me vex, because me see enough sabotage. You don't see the sabotage. Them not like it at all. Ebony vex, he go. Samina self left go. Yeah, because the man them vex.
This is not the first time this is happening, but what I want to say is that the event organizer should let the artist know the duration he will perform, maybe 2 hours, 1 hour, so that the artist will be aware. He wouldn't spend more than that on stage. So seriously, this is getting out of hand. This is the 3rd time Samina and Shatta Wale issue is happening like this. And the show has ended without a lot of artists performing. Shatta Wale is now leaving the venue, Accra Sports Stadium.
Well, that controversy is not enough. There's still more to come from the S concert. And Shatta Wale reportedly slapped his bodyguard for abusing a fan who jumped on the stage during his performance. Owusu Arai brings the highlights.
All right, so this is the morning after the 2017 S concert, and it happened at the Accra Sports Stadium. It was an amazing show. Late. A lot of amazing performances. So we saw Captain Planet mounting stage to do his hit with Joe Bigel and there. Also talking about S Concert 2017, we had other interesting highlights.
I'm gonna pray that I go higher, higher, higher. As I go to the top higher, higher, higher. I'm gonna pray that I go higher, higher. 1, 2, 3. Goodness and mercies. Something that I know what I mean.
Shatawale. A lot of the fans, die-hard fans, wanted to go and then have some moments with him. So a fan got on stage. The security guys came in to pull him off stage. He actually slapped the security guy, and that was one of the shocking moments.
If I perform, make nobody jump come the stage. I don't want to make anybody do unity. You understand? But we just enjoy it. I know I enjoy it. You know I enjoy it.
Well, interesting happenings there. Meanwhile, Samini has urged event organizers to stick to timing and not take artists for granted, lamenting why he walked out of the S Concert venue. Samini, who feels disrespected, explained organizers kept him backstage for 4 hours whilst others had a field day on the stage.
Yes, people. I don't normally do Instagram videos. I don't normally complain like this, but guess what? This is getting out of hand, and I'm sorry to the fans who came out to the stadium to see me, but I'm not doing the show, and I left the stadium. So yeah, big up everybody that came out to support, big up all Ghanaians that came out to have fun, but we have to stick to timing. We have to make sure event organizers communicate right with the artists. You don't keep me backstage for almost 4 hours and have me wait for people to take turns on stage while I still sit backstage without knowing what to do. So basically, my call time was 1:30 and I stayed backstage till 4 o'clock and I had to leave.
Right, you're on News 360, and as I told you before, this is a surprise interview. I'm going to speak to Francis Doku. He is the General Manager, MG Digital, under the MG Group. But I'm not going to speak to him as a General Manager. I'm going to speak to him as an entertainment critic. Francis, good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Right, as if the controversy in the entertainment industry, would it ever end, Francis?
Thank you. No, I don't think it will. I think we've seen this rivalry, especially between Shatawale and Samini and some other musicians for a while now. I mean, if you recall, some 2-3 years ago, about 3 years ago, at the S Concert at the Accra Stadium, similar thing happened after everything. I mean, about Shatta's fans, Samini's fans, and that led into a long controversy.
But this is fresh. What do you think about this one?
Well, I mean, this is fresh also. So I mean, talking on the basis that this should have been anticipated by the organizers, so that adequate measures will be put in place to forestall some of these things. You know, for example, and as Samini said, you have a contract with an artist to perform for a certain time and to perform certain number of songs. I think that organizers need to make sure that they insist on that happening, because if we don't, then you inconvenience one artist against the other, and all that. Some of these things would happen.
So let's look at this particular stage. The problem of the other artists is that Shatawale hijacked the show. How would that affect show organizing in Ghana, entertainment?
I don't think on that basis the artist should be the one to be blamed, because he was performing on somebody's platform. It wasn't his own show that he organized that he would hijack it. It was somebody's show that he invited all of them to perform. So the person who's organizing the show should know what limits to put in place.
So
that,
you're not blaming Shatta?
No, I am not blaming him, because it is somebody's show, and the person should know that Shatta shouldn't perform beyond a certain number of songs or beyond a certain hour. We make sure that if it's an hour, he performs an hour. If it's 30 minutes, he performs within that 30 minutes, so that the next guy can also perform. So I think that the labeling of hijacking, I don't think works for me in this case. I think it was something that the organizer should have properly positioned him within a certain time to perform.
You talked about anticipation in the beginning. Is this something that show organizers should be worried about, putting Shatta Wale and Samina on the same show?
Well, they should really, because this show was hyped very strongly. The two of them were allowed to trade, jibes at each other on social media to hype the show. So you would know that their fans would also come expecting that they will see this happening. So as much as possible, I mean, we need to put in place some of these measures as event organizers when we see these things going to happen. If we had done that, I think that some of these things that happened would have been forestalled. If the organizers had done that, some of these things would have. But I think the artists themselves should come to the realization that they're performing to a certain audience in a certain time. And so they need to be a bit more mature in how they handle some of these things. But above all, the organizers, I will place it that
they should take the blame
the organizer for whatever happens on their show.
Right. Francis Doku, General Manager, MG Digital, under the MG Group, and I interviewed him as entertainment critic, or showbiz critic tonight. Francis, nice speaking to you. Up next is sports. Stay with us. We'll bring you the details.
Well, before we finally leave, information gathered by TV3 indicates a group called Dagbon Malema Zong, literally Dagbon, must be resolved today, was attacked for discussing the Abudu and Dani Royal Gate impasse on air on Friday evening. The group, in an interview on Justice Radio, cautioned people they described as chieftaincy contractors to allow peace reign in the Dagbon Kingdom. This angered some youth who stormed the station, beat up the host, Al-Hassan Ibrahim, and his panelists. It will be recalled that the Dagbon Malema Zone Youth Association, Damas, embarked on a peaceful demonstration in Yendi to demand an end to the 15-year protracted chieftaincy conflict. The group also demanded the enskinment of a new Jana. Their demands were contained in a petition to the eminent of Kings led by Otunfo Seitu to the second, seeking a lasting solution to the Dagbon crisis.
I'm sure we'll be looking a lot more into that details in subsequent news bulletins. Thank you for watching News 360 tonight. I'm Isa Morning.
And I am AC Benewa Otu. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.